Hello and welcome to this webinar, which is demonstrating the new version of Sanako Connect and showing you some of the new features and the new look of the system. So when we first arrive on our landing page, this is what your new system will now look like. We get the sessions page, and most people create a new session, which is a class, such as what we've got here, Miss Smith, Year 10 French. First thing I'm going to do is show you the new folder system in terms of how you can save folders, save activities within different folders, and then also share them with your school. So what you need to do here is toggle from the sessions screen straight over to exercises. And it's just taking a little bit of time to load up because I've got hundreds and hundreds of exercises. So here we are. And I've created a series of folders here and subfolders. So if I go into French, for example, we've got all these different subfolders. And then within these, we've got different, for example, French foundation activities. So you can easily create folders by clicking on this Create New Folder. And I could say French Year 7 and then add that. If I scroll down, it's down here. And then within French Year 7, I could say Year 7 personal descriptions. And you can create as many subfolders and even within that subfolders as well. And we go back to the top and move across to my exercises, which is where I will see all of them. If I want to go into any, for example, particular activity and save it to my school area, I can copy to school by clicking on that button, and it will go straight into this school area here, which I'll show you in a minute. I can also copy it to a session. So I'm going to copy it to this session, and you can do that with as many different items as you want. You can also remove or duplicate any of these. If you want to duplicate them, you could rename it and maybe create an adapted version, which is quite handy. If I now go over to school, I can see that within my school, there are a series of folders again and subfolders. And so I can create, for example, within French, GCSE French, and within that, as many different subfolders as I like. So I'm going to go back to the My Exercises, which is, remember, where you would create all your folders and subfolders, and it's where you also find school. If you want to move activities within folders, you click on the specific, you could select as many as you want and click Move. You can then choose the folder, view that folder, and it will show you, in this case, there's no subfolders, so we'll go to where we do have them. We go into the French and view that. We could then click on the folder that we want, select that folder, and we would be able to move the activities into there. Let's now go back to sessions. And if you want to invite students to a session, you click on these three dots and click Invite Students, and you get the same screen as you're used to, and you get the chance to copy the link and send that to your students. I'm now going to join that as a teacher. If I wanted to edit the name of my session or my class, I would click on the Edit button. But I'm now going to join this one as a teacher. And the first screen that I arrive at allows me to launch activities with the class to work simultaneously. So this would be if your class are all ready with their headsets, microphones, laptops or tablets, and they're ready to do a simultaneous activity. So I would launch the activity. I can choose a pair or group discussion, just as you're used to. Choose how many students, launch it. It does look slightly different, which is why I'm going to show you what it looks like. You can see here that I've got very clearly the start recording button as a reminder, but in every other way, it looks just the same, and you can monitor students in the same way as you've always been able to do. So I'm going to end that session now. And you've always been able to collect all student submissions, and it looks just the same in every other aspect. If I go to exercises, now these are ready-made exercises. So this is within my Year 10 French X2. At the moment, the way that we share things with students has changed. So we can see here anything where I can change the toggle is now shared and the students can see it. Anything where the toggle is not there, they won't be able to see. I can then click on an activity. I can view it as a student by going down to view as student. So that looks slightly different. I can listen, and obviously I can't actually create things and submit them, but that's how to view it as a student. Close that. And I'm going to show you now how to use the new exercise way of working. So if I click on new exercise, I'll just call it test. I could choose the language, save it. And differently from previously, we've now got all the different exercise types down the right hand side, and I would click on these two lines to drag each exercise type in. So the title is often where I suggest you write the instructions, so the text is just the same. The YouTube is now YouTube and others. So as you can see, you could embed a YouTube, Vimeo, Dailymotion or TED Talk activity. And let's go on to YouTube and find a link to embed. So we're going to choose this one. And I'm going to copy this link and paste it in. So slightly a different way of looking, we can move this to determine the section of the video that we want students to watch. We could still use the same way of doing it by going up and down or down the seconds, but we can also now move this arrow around. All the other activities are almost identical, really. You've got exactly the same activities down here. And I'm just going to show you the advanced recorder. Okay. And this just looks slightly different. So to record the audio as a teacher, if you want to record a series of questions that you want students to answer, let's click on here. Bonjour. Qu'est-ce que tu aimes faire pendant ton temps libre? Qu'est-ce que tu as fait le week-end dernier? So I can play that back and check I'm happy with it, and then I can add it. It's important to make sure that the teacher recording has appeared here. So if it says no master track, you'll just need to make sure that that's there and uploaded. And we're just going to save that. You have the virtual keyboard down here, which is in a different place than before. If you ever want to type accents in your instructions or in any text, and obviously you just change it to your language of choice here, and you can move it around. So I'm going to say what I've created here. The import content area, which is to be able to quickly create a series of different pronunciation and vocabulary practice activities, is just here, but it does exactly the same, and you can import a spreadsheet with a list of words in English and the language that you're teaching and create a really nice series of different activities with those. So we're going to close that. So my activity there was called test. It has been shared with my students, so I'm now going to go into the student version of this activity. And we can see that there's a few new activities that have arrived here. I'm going to click on that and open it. Okay. So we've got the video, and we've got here the activity where I can listen to a series of questions and insert my voice. Bonjour. Qu'est-ce que tu aimes faire pendant ton temps libre? And I can record my answer here. Pendant mon temps libre, j'aime regarder la télé. And we can see that my recording has appeared here. I'm going to submit it so that you can see how to access student submissions now. So we're going to go back to the teacher version of our screen. We look at exercises now. We now have one submission. This was from my made-up student, Olivia. And obviously this is the only thing that I've submitted, but I can click on this and right-click, give feedback, record feedback, and so on. And when I've given the student some feedback, I can click show feedback to student. And this will mean that the student will see that feedback next time they go into the exercises. If I go back to exercises now, I want to show you one final thing, which is a new feature of the Sanako Connect, where you can click on Find Images and you can type in a search term. But I think I just clicked on the wrong thing there. So if I type in the search term beach, press enter, I can then select beach, or if I want to put some people on the beach, let's see what I can find. So you can then click on any of these, and if you click on the plus button, it will then be added to the ability for you to be able to add that into your activities. So if I go down and have a look at this now, I can go and insert, to go and select that and move it into copy it into my exercises, and then it will be visible and available for any of the activities. So I hope that you found this useful. If you want more information about individual types of creating activities, such as creating advanced recorder activities, or creating gap fill activities, or multiple choice, or question and answer, vocabulary practice activities, I've recorded a series of short videos which you can find on the SanakoUK website, and each of them will be labelled according to the different types of activities.